What's good, y'all? It's that boy, Easy Millions, and I'm your host of that boy, ETV. You already know, man, we are back on Marvel Rivals. And, as you can see in the background, man, I'm telling y'all, if you haven't had time to play Ultron, he's been out for a while now, so if you haven't had time to play him, I don't know what's wrong with you. But this dude fun as hell, man. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's because he's a flyer, and I actually fell in love with a flyer for the first time. Even though Storm was cool, I like Storm, but she doesn't seem as mobile as Ultron. You know, Human Torch, in my opinion, he's all right. I know he was a little OP before the recent update, but I never really tried him out right. But I'm telling you, man, if you haven't tried out Ultron, man, I don't know what you're doing. This dude's extremely fun. I find it easy to get good heals and damage off with him. So just want to throw that out there. But I'm let y'all enjoy that gameplay while I yap in your ear for a bit here, man. Boy, let's go ahead and get to these main topics that I want to bring to y'all this week, man. And the first one's going to be the fact that we have so many people in this community, right, that claim that the game is dead because the player count is what I call is normaling out, right? Now, what do I mean by this? So when the game came out, right, they had like some crazy number, right? I think it was like 600,000 people, some crazy like that. Nowadays, you know, when you look at Steam, it's more normal. You know, sometimes it's over 100,000, sometimes it isn't. But it just kind of depends on, I would assume, you know, like the time of day, what day it is, those type of things, right? Because we all know that it just doesn't happen. Like, games are going to have their player counts are going to definitely vary from time to time. So we just got to worry about that. Like, even right now, when I'm looking at it, there's only 77,000 people currently on the game at this moment, right? And it's something like this that would make people believe that the game is dead in comparison to its earlier success, right? Especially due to its earlier success, which is kind of crazy. I don't understand why people don't get why most games never keep their launch numbers. Like, if any game that you want to go to and look at, when they came out, they're going to probably have the highest amount of players at that time. There's no game that you can speak of that when the game released 4 or 5 months down the line, the same amount of players are still on it. Now, I may be mistaken because, again, I just recently started doing new stuff for a lot of games that I do, I believe like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. So, again, maybe I'm just behind on this and I don't actually know what's going on. But, again, it's very funny to me that people would think that if the game came in with 600,000 players, the fact that now it's evening more out to 77,000. And, again, this is me looking at it on a Wednesday at 12:30 in the afternoon, right? Because I happen to get off, so I'm able to do this. So at 12:30 in the afternoon on a weekday, there's almost 80,000 people on there. You know, 77,000 people, and that's just on PC. So again, no, this game is nowhere near dead. And again, I don't know why people are expecting a game to hold on to the same player count that it had when it first released. That just isn't possible, right? It's not possible. It really isn't. It's not sustainable and it's not realistic to believe that. So now what the game is actually happening to the player count is it's normaling out, right? It's normaling out. This is what the player count is going to be probably moving forward and for the lifespan of the game. So, and 77, think about it, 77,000 on a Wednesday during the middle of the work week, and you still got 77,000 people on PC. This game is not dead by any means, bro. It's going well and strong, and I believe it will. Now, I also feel like it's the internet and people on the internet that's always claiming that a game is dying, right? Now, from my personal experience, I've mostly noticed this in the fighting game community with a lot of those games where people like MK1, right? Like, people say that MK1 died after like the first year or so, right? Before they even did the Chaos, their expansion. People were trying to say the game was dead. Now, a lot of times when people say this, they're not actually referring to the player count. Like, there are actual dead games, right, where nobody's on them shits, or the game does not get updated or anything. That is what a dead game is more like. Now, what I feel is, though, a lot of people, I think the honeymoon is over for a good chunk of the community. The honeymoon's been over. And now they're being stuck with the basics of the game because the game itself is not bad by any means. I think the characters are great. The game is great. Everything. But again, for one reason or another, someone might stop playing, whether that's due to, the matchmaking that they're tired of, the playing comp with toxic teammates, whatever it may be. But whatever it is that makes them stop playing the game, when they just stop playing the game, they then want to go online and call the game dead. And then you start having people that have this feeling towards the game and then start piggybacking off in the fact that someone else is saying the game is dead. So now they're going to say the game is dead. And it just kind of spirals out of control, right? But it always seems like it's just people on the internet. Like, how is a game with 77,000 people in the middle of a work week a dead game? By any means. You know what I mean? Just because it doesn't have the same amount of players at launch doesn't mean that the game is hurting or dead. That's just crazy. And again, compare, like most games, this is what happens. It comes out with a huge player count, and then the player count tends to normal out, as time goes on. And it'll never be what it was at the beginning. So please get that out of y'all heads, thinking that that is realistic and how things actually go, because it's really not. Now, the other thing that I really want to talk to you guys about, and I'm pretty sure everyone that plays this game at this point is still very, very aware of this, and the fact that the toxicity of the average Marvel Rivals player, in my opinion, is way, way higher than any other game that I think I play, right? I play Call of Duty, I play Marvel Rivals, I play Mortal Kombat, I play Tekken, I play Fragpunk, I play Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like, y'all see my page, man. There's all kind of shit up there, right? I play all kind of games. And I'm not going to lie. This is probably the worst community that I've ever come across when it comes to toxicity. Like, you can't get on the mic and give any type of friendly advice. You can't do it. People get instantly butthurt, and they be like, oh, don't tell me how to play. You know how they are. As soon as you say something, right? A dude could be 1-11 with, I don't know, let's say Punisher. We can have a 1-11 Punisher on the team. Someone will get on and say, hey, man, maybe you should switch, man. It's not working out too well. And this guy will literally come in the chat and start talking shit, saying that he has all this damage, this, that, and the third. But you're 1-11, my guy. This is what I mean by toxic players. You can't get on and just play to have fun. And it gets even worse when you're playing in comp. When you're in comp and you're playing with these people, they get the big head. It's depending on what rank you're at, people get the big head. Especially these one-trick people that get up into these semi-high ranks only playing one person. And then when you're playing with them, you're like, look, man, we need you to switch. And they're going to say to you, no, I'm not the problem. You are. You need to switch. This is what I mean by I can see why the player count dropped the way that it did. Who wants to deal with this? Like, honestly, I've been playing more quick play just because it's less stressful. Yes, the games are shorter, and that annoys me. The fact that the games are so much shorter, and the fact that, when you're playing the convoy map, you only get to play one side. You don't, in rank, you get to play both offense and defense. But in quick play, they only let you play one or the other. Now, maybe that's because they don't want you to have to stay in games for too long. And so that games are kind of, you can go in and out of games quickly. But only domination, in my opinion, feels good for quick play. And that's because it's actually a pretty fast match. Now, when you're playing in convoy, that shit might end quick, right? So that's usually the only way. But one of the main reasons why I'm playing quick play is because you find less toxic players there. I'm not saying that the games are better or even that you'll find better teammates. Like, you're going to find better teammates playing in comp, bro. Just trust me, you are. But quick play is right now my safe haven because I'm tired of dealing with toxic teammates that don't know how to play other players, that refuse to play other players. They can't take any type of criticism. Nothing. You can't tell them nothing, right? And it's just, it's the worst thing in the world, especially if you're a strategist, right? I hate playing strategy and here's someone calling on mic talking about they need heals when your ass is fucking pushing off from the team, trying to push the enemy team by yourself, okay? If you're doing that, don't expect me to heal you. Don't expect any healer to follow you like that. If you're pushing off on your own, like overextending, you're gonna die. It's called overextending. That's not the healer's fault, that's yours. But see, the toxic player is gonna say, where's my healer at? Because this is what I mean. They don't have the skill, they don't have the game sense or the knowledge to understand not to overextend or to make sure that they stay in the sideline of their healers. It's also their job to stay in the sideline of the healer. The same way it's the healer's job to keep themselves alive from dive while also trying to maintain sightline on everyone on the team. So maybe you might want to help out your strategist by making sure that you are aware of what your sightline is with the strategist. That's part of game sense and knowledge. The strategist can't watch you at all times. And then when the strategist comes on and says, hey man, you're overextending, I can't heal you, the dude want to come on the mic and be toxic and talk shit. That's the average player you run into, especially on comp. Now, on quick play, it's a little bit different. But at the end of the day, man, let me know how y'all feel, man. Do y'all think that the game is dead? Or do y'all agree with me that the game is more just normaling out its players? And do you still think the toxicity in this game is out of control? Because I still feel it's still out of control and it's only going to get worse as the player count drops, in my opinion. Because you're only going to keep the most toxic players are going to remain. So let me know how y'all feel about both the toxic players and if you really think the game is dead, man. But in the background, I'm going to leave y'all off with the rest of this Ultron gameplay, and I hope y'all enjoy that, man. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, become a supporter, and catch me streaming on Facebook Gaming and Twitch at ThatBoy ETV. Now, catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace.